Just finishing up my lunchtime pre-recovery check-in carrot. So it is noon. It is Saturday, March 28th. I was looking at my calendar, which is across my kitchen, and I think I need my eyes checked. Yeah, I definitely need my eyes checked. I will give people minutes. I think my coffee's a bit strong today, but that's okay. I hope everybody's having a good Saturday. It's kind of gloomy here, but that's alright. I went for a walk in the rain yesterday, and that was really nice. You know, I don't know, I think there's something like kind of cleansing about walking in the rain. I typically start running in the springtime at least like once a week, and I remember last year one of my most favoritist, grammar, best, most memorable, there we go, that's something I know the proper grammar about. One of my most memorable runs last year was actually in the rain, so that was pretty cool. Got a little bit cold, you know, but that was alright. So, excuse me. I've been told my hiccups sound like I'm trying to kill Mickey Mouse before. Yeah, well. Alright, so, hope everybody's doing well on this Saturday, March 28th, and, you know, here for your daily recovery check-in, which is super exciting. I want you to guys know, like, I realized after yesterday's, like, doing these, it's, like, very grounding for me in the middle of my day to be able to, like, interact with y'all, to see how your comments pop up and to be able to respond to them and, you know, get your guys' feedback on, you know, topics and what's all going on in your all's life. So it's been a really big gift and blessing for me right now, to be able to check in with you guys at noon. So I mean, I get so much from you guys. So for today, though, you know, because we learn and grow as people, and I'm going to remember to start today's with a gratitude moment. Before we get there, I just want to remind you guys, you can always check Hancock Helps. So it's hancockhelps.org .com. Oh, snap. It's Hancock Helps. We'll post it in the comments. I'm totally having a choo-choo derailing moment about whether it's .org or .com. Yeesh. I'm human. But anyways, you can always check that for updates. You know, there were some updates from the city and the county yesterday, kind of about our public health situation, so I encourage you to check those out. We are going to try to also share those on our Facebook page. Yeah, so today's gratitude moment, which I was thinking about right before I started this, and I was like, maybe I shouldn't share this one, but because, you know, when you think about not sharing something, then it's like the only thing that you think about sharing. So, you know, whatever, here goes. So my gratitude moment for today is that I am extremely grateful for big old poopy diapers, you know. So my kid, I love her, and, you know, I've shared in other videos, you know, that I'm a mother, and oh, I just got a text that is hancockhelps.org. There you go. But so other videos, I have shared that I'm a mom, and that has been one of the most amazing and wonderful and awesome and beautiful and challenging and hard things of my. But I was getting ready to put her down for a nap before doing this recovery check-in, and I was changing a big old poopy diaper, and I'm like, you know what? In the midst of all this, shit's still normal. There's something that's still predictable, and that is poop. So especially baby poop. Which I don't know. It sounds weird or silly, but like you have to be totally present in the moment to change a poopy diaper. Otherwise, there shall be poo everywhere. Like there's no like getting distracted, especially like when your kid is like she's 18 months old, so she's highly mobile. So you got to pay attention. You got to be totally there in the moment, managing that whole situation, and it makes me incredibly grounded. So I'm very thankful for, again, some of the just weird, wonderful things that the universe throws my way to remind me that I am resilient, and there are still predictable things, even in uncertainty. There are still things that are predictable, that are built upon, just kind of how things work, and that can't be disrupted. So just a cool thing. Kind of weird, kind of gross, whatever, but oh shoot. So today's recovery check-in, I want to talk about something, I don't know. I want to talk about showing up for your recovery. That's what I want to talk about. Because I've heard some people who are struggling with this, or who's struggling with kind of that accountability piece and what that looks like while we're kind of transitioning into, and we've been transitioning into that physical distancing kind of world. What does accountability in recovery look like? For some folks who maybe are on probation or in treatment, and, we're required to attend so many meetings, and that's maybe looking a little bit different. How do you stay accountable? What does that look like? So, is that better, Lou? By chance? So I wanna really talk about showing up for your recovery. And we're gonna talk about accountability. And so I was thinking about like how does that look? How does showing up, I've talked about showing up as a human being. So how can you show up for your recovery? And I was thinking about, and again, 5 things. 5 is like a number. And the very first one is to find support. So, part of that willingness to show up for your recovery is to find that support. And finding that support can be vulnerable, because it can be reaching out and asking for help. Finding that support team, again, and I encourage you, have 5 people. Have 5 people that you can go to regardless of the time of the day. Whether it's 10 a.m. or 2 a.m. or what have you. Because if you have 5 people on your support team, chances are if one's not available, one of those 5 will be. So find that support, build that team, and when you're looking at your support team of people that are going to hold you accountable, it's really easy to just have people on your support team that are maybe convenient for you, but maybe aren't the best to help hold you accountable. When you're talking about your recovery, like you are talking about literally like life and death things, so, I made the analogy before, in some workshops and stuff, like it's like recruiting a sports team, like as much as I would want to, I just can't show up to, the Cleveland Browns and say, hey, I'm really good at playing football. You should let me on your team. They'd be like, no. Because I don't have the necessary skills and qualities to be a good asset on that football team. I just don't. That's okay. It's okay by me. So when you're thinking about your support team and your recovery support team, think about the skills and the qualities that you want on that team, and recruit them. Recruit them from people. We have in Findlay and Hancock County and the surrounding area a freaking wealth of recovery. All kinds of, people from different recovery pathways and different journeys and different experiences, and you can draw upon them all, and that is really cool. So I'd encourage you, like, recruit people to your team. If there's someone on your team that's there just because you think they should be, I'd encourage you to look at that. For example, I'll tell you, so my mom, I love my mother to death. I love her so much. However, I know when I'm really struggling, she's not the best person for me to go to. We don't have that kind of mother-daughter relationship. And, so while most people say, well, yeah, maybe your mom should be on your support team, my mom's not. She's not one of my 5. Because she doesn't have the skills and the qualities and the expertise that I need for my recovery. And there's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing, because we're talking about my life, my sanity, my ability to show up as the person I want to be. And so I'm recruiting. I recruit the best people that I possibly can because I am worth that much. So finding that support team, building that team, is a huge part of showing up for your recovery and having that accountability. The second part, hey Pam, the second part is making a plan. We talked about triggers and stuff that stresses you out in prior recovery check-ins. And so it's sitting down, it's having a hard look at yourself and thinking about those internal triggers, those external triggers, what do those look like for you? Are they situations? Are they experiences? Are they thoughts? Are they emotions? What are they? And then make a plan. Make a plan to deal with those specific things. So if you want a refresh on that, I encourage you to go back a couple days and check out that recovery check-in for sure. And then, so you've built your support team. You've looked at your triggers. You've made a plan of those triggers, which probably includes reaching out to your support team. The third kind of thing that I was thinking about is using technology as a tool. When you're in recovery, technology can be kind of a best friend or a worst enemy. And right now, in this kind of time of physical distancing, that can be a challenge. So when I'm talking about using technology as a tool, I'm talking about being intentional, knowing yourself well enough and being honest enough with yourself about what role technology has for you. You might be a person that you need to kind of set boundaries around what technology looks like and when you're going to use it and when you're not. You might have people on maybe your Facebook page that might be from a life before recovery. If they're still your friends on Facebook, why? If they're not helping you build into the life that you want to have and supporting you to show up as the human being that you want to be, why are they there? So use technology to your benefit. And it can be hard to go through that friends list and unfriend people. But at the same time, I kid you not, life or death, this is what we're talking about. We're talking about you being able to show up as a freaking awesome, resilient, wonderful, beautiful person of the world, or you taking the easy route out and not doing that and not making the hard but right choices. So, I encourage you, use technology to your benefit. Use it as a tool for your growth, for your well-being. If you need to set boundaries around it, set boundaries around it. Do so. If you need to go through and do a Facebook cleanse, do a Facebook cleanse. Do it. I've done it, and I'm still here, still standing, still in recovery. So it's a good thing. And then, with that, when you are really kind of have that support team in place, you're using technology for your benefit, for your growth, for what's good for your soul, then it makes it a lot easier to be able to celebrate and share those successes. As human beings, like, it's a heck of a lot easier to build on what you're already good at. And that can be challenging because sometimes we love to like beat ourselves up over what we're not good at. Me included. I'll be honest. I'm working on that one. But celebrate your success, celebrate the good things, and share them, because then it makes you want to push yourself even further, to get that next day and the day after and the day after and the day after and the day after. You just keep pushing forward and persisting. Like I said in the other, like I tell myself to persist until something happens. And, you'll see those successes. And then that becomes part of that foundation upon which you build that accountability. And it's a cool thing. It's a cool thing. So the last part that I want to talk about a little bit about having that personal responsibility and that willingness, because it takes willingness to show up for yourself and for your recovery, is creating a personal mission statement. And that personal mission statement, for me, I have found to be really helpful because it kind of serves as my vision forward and helps me to make judgment calls about, is this activity, friend, relationship, whatever, is this contributing to my personal success, or is it hindering my personal success? And building a personal mission statement, something that I do probably roundabouts every 6 months. And it's something that I do, like, I keep in front of me. And so if you've never built a personal mission statement, I encourage you to give it a go. And so how you kind of go about that is you sit down, pen, paper, I don't know, magazine, whatever kind of floats your boat, whatever kind of creative things you use. You sit down and you make a list of the good things about you. Like, what are your good traits? What are your good and positive abilities? Maybe you're pretty kick-ass at being positive. So you'd put down positivity. Maybe you're incredibly persistent, intelligent, caring, kind, compassionate. Maybe you're really good at whittling wood. That could be a part of it. Who knows? So you write down what your skills are, what your abilities, those good strengths that you have. And then you write down your values as well. What do you value in life? Truth, honesty, love, family, faith, spirituality. I value being part of a farming community. What are your individual values? Like, what speaks to your heart and your soul, like at the deepest level? And like, that can require some digging. And that's, take the time to dig. Take that time to get to really know yourself. And then think about your dreams. Like, where do you want to go? Where do you want to be in next week, a month from now, 3 months, 6 months, a year, whatever kind of time frame? Where do you want to go, and how are you going to get there? Because if you never sit down and kind of lay out that path forward and create that vision or that picture of what life looks like over there, it's really hard to kind of set your sails in that direction and go. If you don't know what direction you're going, you can kind of end up wandering a wee bit aimlessly. And when you're talking about your recovery, whether that's mental health or addiction or trauma or whatever, you don't always have the time or the luxury to wander aimlessly, because your life matters and your life can drastically alter if you don't have that vision forward. So I encourage you, like, think through, where do you want to be? What are your passions? So as I was thinking about this personal mission statement, I was going to share one with you, and I forgot to sit it with me on the floor. So, kid you not, like, this piece of paper has been sitting on my my kitchen table for a hot smidge, because I keep it folded up, because I like folded pieces of papers. So I'm going to tell you, my personal mission statement right now is, all right, here we go. To be fearless in the pursuit with myself and the universe through truth, integrity, authenticity, and grace. I will be wholehearted and unapologetically grant myself and I will breathe. So that is my personal mission statement. Proof. I did this whole like little worksheet on my values and where am I going and what do I want to do and how do I want to get there and how am I when I'm at my best. And I guess if you want, I'm happy we can share this I can share that worksheet. I have it somewhere on my computer because that's the one that I use to kind of figure out where I want to go and how I want to be. So that's my personal mission. That's what's guiding me right now. And when I look at that, within that there's crappy coping isn't going to help me get there. Drugs, whatever, crappy, it's just not going to help me get there. Like, if I'm not, like I shared in earlier videos, like sometimes, my crappy coping looks like either maybe overeating or undereating or that kind of thing right now. If I'm not fueling my body, I'm not going to be able to give myself space. I'm not going to be able to breathe. I'm not going to be able to show up as a passionate person for myself or for my family. So I'm not going to be able to be fearless because I'm just simply not going to have the energy. So, my personal mission statement helps guide me to where I want to go in my life. It helps me stay centered and show up for my recovery and what that looks like. So, I'd encourage you, like, make your personal mission statement, because that can help you stay accountable to yourself, regardless of those systems around you, regardless maybe of whether or not you got a PO checking in on you every single day, or a treatment provider checking in with you every single day, or a sponsor or an accountability partner. Because when in doubt, I can hold that paper and I look at it and it stays on my kitchen table because I pass my kitchen table like umpteen times a day. So 5 things: support, making that plan of, looking at your triggers and what those are, celebrating those successes, using technology as a tool, making that personal mission statement, so accountability is like it's not always a fun thing to talk about, and because it goes along with that lovely word responsibility that sometimes we want to avoid. And I'll be honest, like at the worst points in my life, like I for sure wanted to avoid responsibility. I for sure wanted to avoid accountability. But what I have found along this wonderful recovery journey is that I was thinking about that all wrong. I thought that accountability and being personally responsible for me and my life and my recovery was going to hamper me in some way, was going to restrict me, was going to feel like I wasn't free, and I was wrong. I was real wrong. What I have found in recovery is that by embracing responsibility allows me to embrace my inner greatness. That embracing that accountability allows me to be more free than I have ever felt ever before. Because a couple things happened when I made that shift. Is one, I realized that regardless of anything else going on, by being personally responsible and personally accountable for showing up for myself and my recovery, that I have it within my power to build the life that I want to have. I can do that. Always. I can create. I create my reality. I create the life that I have. And yes, there are limitations and there are extenuating circumstances beyond that, but at the same time, I'm personally responsible for my response within that. And that is freeing because that means that nothing else has power over me anymore. Whoop! I am no longer giving away my power to, maybe the person that cut me off at the road. I'm no longer giving my power away to maybe a family member who responded really crappy to me. No longer giving my power away to maybe or a work situation that's frustrating me. Like I get to feel what I feel in the moment, respond in an appropriate and responsible way, and by that I have the power. I have the power in my life. I am very empowered by that, and again, like I'm not giving that power away. For me, that's huge, because that means that I create my life, and no one else no one else does. I get to. That's a gift, absolute gift. Because I want to share, like, by taking that power back and being personally responsible has opened me up to living such an authentic life. Like I am on this journey of constantly being a better human being, and that has allowed me to embrace authentically the good, the not so good, the stuff that I'm work on, the beautiful things, the kind of weird things about me. Like I get to do that and be freed by that. And that is a truly an amazing gift. Because by being authentic, it also opens me up to being a whole human being, having my heart and my mind and my soul and my spirit and my body all together, all at once. And that's not something I honestly thought that I'd ever get there. And I'm not here to say like I do that all the time, because there are still days that I struggle. There are still days that things suck. And there are days that I do not show up as my best human being. And there are days that I let the world kind of get the best of me. But by being personally responsible, like I know that I have the ability to go to bed, sleep, eat something good for breakfast, and sally forth the next day as a powerful, powerful person. And there are days where I have to do that over and over and over again, and that's okay. This journey was not meant to be linear, and sometimes we learn the best things from our struggles, so I want to make sure that I insert a little dose of realism into that, like, well, yes, I am on this journey of authenticity and being whole, and I know that you can be as well. It's not all sunshine and roses, which is why it's important to have that accountability. It's why it's important to show up for yourself and your recovery and have that team who can be there for you and have, that plan, have that mission statement, have those things that help to ground you or re-ground you and reorient you into the life that you want to have, so you don't drift off course, so you don't drift into a dangerous territory for you, and that if you do, you have those support people to help pull you back, who can reach out with that hand and say, hey, I'm here. So no matter what, you got this. You have tools, you have resources, you have people. And if you think that you don't, I want to encourage you to reach out to us. Reach out to us at Focus. Give us a call. Message our Facebook page. Reach out to somebody that you care about, that cares about you. And build that life. I've met people who have struggled for 20, 30 years. People that maybe other people had given up on, who were able to build that life, by being personal responsibility, by holding themselves accountable, regardless of whatever system was put in place, regardless of a PO or a counselor or a parent or whatever. Were able to do that for themselves, build that team, find that community to really help them. And I really want to encourage you to do that. I want to encourage you to reach out. If you're struggling, reach out. I know that it is hard, and I know that things sometimes suck right now, but reach out. You know, the crisis line is there for you 24/7. The text line is there for you 24/7. You know, Focus, we're there for you 10 to 7, Monday through Saturday, to answer that phone, to be there to talk to you. So, reach out if you're struggling, is what I'm trying to get at. Oh, I feel like this one was longer than normal. So, all right, so I'm going to wrap this one up for today. As always, check Hancock helps. You know, stay tuned into our Facebook page. We try to post all of the pertinent updates from the good sources that we have. Let's stay together as a community, you know, because together we're going to get through this no matter what. I believe in you. I believe in our power as a recovery community, because we are freaking awesome badasses. Just got to throw that out there, all right? I believe in us. I believe that together we are going to overcome, and we're going to grow and be freaking awesome. And we're going to come on the other side full of joy and full of gratitude, and also still in recovery. So if you're struggling, reach out. We want to hear from you. And yeah, I will see y'all tomorrow at noon. All right, have a great rest of your Saturday.